What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and we got some great injury news to break down before this big time showdown between the Packers and Vikings this Sunday. Now at 3:25, we actually are going to have Tom Brady on the call instead of the noon slot this Sunday. So game's going to be at 3:25. So we got some great injury news coming up on today's show. And then also I just want to give you guys my thoughts on really what's at stake before this Vikings-Packers game and kind of go through a brief preview at the second half of today's show. But first off, I want to say Merry Christmas or Merry Christmas Eve to all of you guys and Happy Holidays to all of you guys who celebrate out there. And I do just want to say thank you as well. The support on the channel all season has been amazing. I mean, we're closing in on 50,000 subscribers. I never thought I would say that. So for all of you guys who watch all of these videos, who tune in for our watch parties and really just support the show, you know, the guys that comment, the guys that hit that thumbs up icon, seriously, thank you guys so much. I know I ask you guys to do it a lot, but it really helps us just kind of get these videos out into the Google Jet Stream more and just get more, eyeballs on this channel. So I want to say thank you guys to all the real ones who have supported this channel all season long as a part of this really special season for the Minnesota Vikings. But we'll get to the injury news here in a second. But if you guys want the Vikings to beat the Packers this weekend, just hit that thumbs up icon. Put the goal as 1,000 likes on today's show. And if you guys want to guarantee a win this Sunday, hit that thumbs up button. But all right, let's dive into the injury news. We got we got 4 players. We got some positive injury news yesterday. So Harrison Smith, safety, he missed this past Sunday dealing with that ankle injury. But according to Kevin O'Connell, it sounds like he will be back and ready to go versus the Packers. So you'll have the hitman, number 22, back in the lineup. And then Jalen Redmond, he missed this past week. Breakout defensive tackle for the Vikings with a concussion, but apparently he is progressing well, and it's very optimistic that he will be back this Sunday, which is great news. But the best piece of news, in my opinion, Ivan Pace Jr., linebacker. His 21-day practice window was opened, and they want to see how he's going to progress throughout the week. Kevin O'Connell did note that hamstrings, you have to be extra careful, but I think he's ready to go. You know, this is a playoff game for the Vikings this weekend, or at least it has that feel and it has that impact. So I think Ivan Pace is going to be ready to go this weekend, which is going to be huge because the Packers, very physical team. You know, the bread and butter is running the football, and we'll dive into that kind of aspect of the game this weekend here in a little bit. But having Ivan Pace Jr. will be massive for this game. Then also veteran corner Fabian Morrow. It sounds like he's going to play this Sunday as well. So really the Vikings are getting healthy at a great time. And, this is massive because this game is massive. Now, obviously we know the situation here. The Vikings, you beat the Packers, you beat the Lions. Simple. You get the number 1 seed in the NFC. The NFC playoffs will be ran through Minnesota. But let's just say doomsday scenario. Let's say the Vikings lose against the Packers. Let's say they lose against the Lions, and then the Packers go and beat the Bears in Week 18. The Vikings will be the number 6 seed in the NFC. And I'm not saying if they're the number 6 seed, they got no chance to go on a playoff run because, I just think that's a bad take. But, if you are the number 6 seed, you're probably going to have to travel to Los Angeles to go play the Rams, which is going to be a tough game. And then you're probably going to have to go to Detroit the next weekend and play the Lions. And then you would probably have to go to either Green Bay or Philadelphia in the NFC Championship weekend. That would just be 3 brutal road games in a row. So, this is a playoff game. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks. Every game from here on out is a playoff atmosphere and a playoff intensity for this ball club. And, I'll throw this out there. For all the people, and I still get comments saying, dude, the NFL is rigged. They're just doing this for ratings. If you believe that, the Vikings should have the ref's whistle this weekend, because I am sure, I was looking at the Week 18 games, dude, the NFL is going to do whatever it takes to have the 14-2 Minnesota Vikings, the 14-2 Detroit Lions squaring off in Detroit for the number 1 seed in the NFC North title on hand. Now, that game would be unbelievable, and, I just can't wait to see how this ends up playing out. But more on the Packer game real quick. This could potentially be the last home game. If you Vikings fans are going there, and I don't even need to give a rah-rah speech to you guys because I know the fans in that building are going to bring it, but U.S. Bank Stadium should be on fire this weekend. This should be the biggest game that the Vikings have played in that building since the wild card weekend round against the New York Giants when Daniel Jones and Brian Dable came into that building and beat Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins. I honestly think this game is bigger than that. I think this game will have more intensity than that game ever did, and I just can't wait for it. I mean, I wish I could go to the Packers-Vikings game this weekend, but coming up in a second, I'll be diving into a little more, in-depth preview of this game, give you guys some things that I'm watching for in this obviously highly anticipated game. But first off, I got to give a massive shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app today, use promo code CLNS. You guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Now, if you guys want any more juice, Wild game, Timberwolves game, or obviously a Vikings game, downloading PrizePicks app and creating a lineup is the best way to do so. So download the app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, get yourself $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, let's close out today's show. A little brief preview of this Packers game. I will obviously get you guys a full preview with graphics and everything this Thursday, but quickly I just want to go through a couple of things. So the Packers' bread and butter, and especially watching them against the Saints last night, they're going to try to run the football. They got Josh Jacobs, they got a pretty physical offensive line, and that's going to be kind of how the Vikings base their offense all around Justin Jefferson. The Packers, the offense this year, it's really changed, so it's all built around the run. I mean, I think Josh Jacobs has 10 or 11 touchdowns in his last 5 or 6 games. He's on a ridiculous pace. But, the Vikings' run defense has struggled over the last 3 weeks, much better against the Seahawks this past week. But with them bringing back Ivan Pace and Jalen Redmond, I think they'll be able to stop the run. I'm really not too worried about it, if I'm being honest. I think that's Packers fans this week are going to be saying, hey, how are you guys going to be able to stop our run game? The Bears gassed you, the Falcons, the Cardinals gassed you 3 of the last 4 weeks. How are you going to be able to stop one of the better rushing attacks in the NFL? My counter argument to that would be, what is the Vikings' kind of best piece to play against the run? It would be Ivan Pace, and specifically the combination of Ivan Pace and Blake Cashman at that linebacker group. Because Blake Cashman, one of the best communicators, one of the best coverage linebackers, one of the best blitzing linebackers in the league, but he does struggle in, kind of asserting his physicality in the run game. But then you have little old 5'11" Ivan Pace Jr. coming in there like a wrecking ball. It's a perfect yin and yang at that linebacker spot. And then also, Jalen Redmond. Please do not forget about this guy, everybody. He had 2 breakout games. The game before he left with a concussion, he was the third highest graded defensive tackle according to PFF. So clearly they're showing some love to him, and I think he's having a great year. So watch out for him. I'm calling it. He's going to make a splash play this weekend. So I know the run game of the Green Bay Packers does scare a couple of you guys, but I think with those 2 guys being back in the lineup, I think the Vikes will just be all right. Now, 2 low notes here. Number 1, I think the Vikings are just a better team than the Green Bay Packers. Now, I think it's close. I'm not saying Vikes should be 5-point favorites in this game at home. I don't think that's the case because both these teams are on a similar tier. I just think the Vikings are at a tier above. And right now, I would rather roll with Sam Darnold than Jordan Love. I would rather roll with Kevin O'Connell than Matt LaFleur. If you keep it like that, if you believe it truly is a coach quarterback league, I think the Vikings, and this, if you asked any media member who would you rather have, LaFleur and Jordan Love or Darnold and KOC, they're all taking the Packers combination. Personally, for me, and with watching every snap of this football team this season, Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold are just getting started. This is their first offseason together. This is their first time playing with each other. And they have won 13 of their last 15 games. I think we could be seeing their best performance this weekend against the Green Bay Packers at home. And also, the difference in this game will be the best player on the football field in this game. It will be Justin Jefferson. He will have a game-breaking type of play because also the thing with Jefferson, and obviously he's an unreal talent. I think he's going to be the greatest wide receiver of all time. But he has this kind of Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods-esque feel to him where he's that ultra competitor and all that matters to him is winning. And I think he is going to rise to the occasion. We're going to see his best game this week of the season against the Packers. Then he's going to follow that up against the Lions. And he's just going to keep on stacking and stacking and stacking great performances because that's just who he is. That's who he's been in his NFL career. That's who he's been in his football career. I mean, you date back to LSU playing in that college football semifinal. The man had 4 touchdowns in the first half. Like, he is that much of a difference maker in the biggest games. And now also this. Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel. I think these two are going to wreak havoc this weekend. I think they are still the most underrated pass rush duo in the National Football League. You know, Grenard, that prototypical, put your hand in the dirt, you got to guard him one-on-one, and he is going to kick your ass all game long. Then you got Van Ginkel, the most versatile edge rusher in the National Football League. I mean, the man's got 2 touchdowns on defense this season, 2 pick sixes, and he's got 11 sacks, and he's also got like 17 TFLs. I mean, this man's putting one of the most complete defensive seasons we have ever seen out of an edge rusher. I think those two would be special, and watch out for that little icing on the cake there, the little sprinkle on top. Dallas Turner, first-round pick out of Alabama, had his first interception this past week, and I think he's going to have a big game as well. And then I got a little bold take here to wrap up today's show. So a little biased here. I've been a Jalen Nailor guy since Vikings drafted him, was it 3-4 years ago in the 6th round out of Michigan State. I'm calling it right now. Jalen Nailor will score a 50-plus yard touchdown this weekend. I think they have been setting up a Nailor play over and over again the last couple weeks, and you just have to forget about him. Like, it's not like Nailor's fault teams don't give them respect that I think he deserves. And yes, he's had drops. Yes, he hasn't been great, but the man's fast. The man can beat you over the top. So I'm calling, whether it's a streak route, a deep post, Sam Darnold will find Jalen Nailor in the first half for a massive play that could potentially, you know, spark this offense or really get the game going. So that's going to be my sneaky play of the week. And then also, Jordan Love, he's a hot and cold player. I think he's going to have an off game this weekend. You kind of got to hope for it. I think the crowd noise, Flores' defense getting healthy. I think people really forget, because I think the story over the last couple of weeks has been, oh, Sam Darnold, Kevin O'Connell. Now it's almost like the defense is getting forgotten about a little bit. So I think they're going to get it back going this weekend. If I had to give my score prediction, I'm going to go Vikings win. I think it's going to be a little grittier. I'm going to go 23-17 in favor of the Vikings. That's going to be my final score prediction here, as just getting Christian Watson could potentially play this weekend. He got hurt last night, so a little quick update at the end of today's show. So watch out for that. They could be without one of their better wide receivers there. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the holidays with your family. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.